The current discussions of marriage in today's world could be very confusing to somebody who was alive a few hundred years ago, with all the gay marriage and all that, same-sex marriages being debated and authorized by the federal courts and all that. It just wouldn't make any sense to the people a few hundred years ago. But then again, we take for granted the mixed blood, the interracial marriages. It's a little more acceptable to us with interracial marriages, and it was a bit of a struggle back in the old days, say about the 1600, starting in the 1600s and on. There's a lot of mixing between the Indians and the Europeans, particularly the French. Early on, French traders came over to the U.S. and didn't really have many options, so they took on the Indian wives and had several marriages. Some men would marry multiple women in a way, and this helped with the relations between the French and the Indians, because if the Frenchman did take a Indian wife, it would look good upon the he would look good at he would have better contacts in some ways with the certain Indian tribes, and this practice of interracial marriage was frowned upon for a long time by English royalty, by British royalty. In some cases, they would just outright make it illegal for it to occur. They just didn't approve of it. The type of marriage was below the royal or the upper class person. It was something that tended to be done. And I mentioned the French, but there's also the Scottish, possibly the Irish. That those type of people were considered a little bit more lower class and were able to get away with the marriage. Um, it sounds like one guy really influenced the act of marriage in separating marrying white women and marrying Indians. I believe it was George Simpson, and this is an interesting guy. He built a door into his bedroom. I'm not sure. I think it was in England. That was like a secret door for his whores to slip in and out of. But in Hudson Bay, which I believe is in Canada, he made a fort exclusively for his white wife so that she didn't have to interact with his Indian wives. He would keep her in the fort, and it was just a way to protect her from the wives. It wasn't exactly a military strategy, and which is interesting, and he did that as a way to separate Indian wives from his white wife. That a lot of people just frowned upon mixing with the Indian women, and even wouldn't a lot of guys would not accept the Indian children as offspring. One guy said if they didn't look white enough, if his kids didn't look white enough, he would have nothing to do with them. So There's a lot of controversy then